Geek Vibes Live is rated G for geek.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Geek Vibes Live interview. For today's interview, I'll be your host, Tia, and we are expecting the very well-known comedian Jamie Kennedy on our show shortly. So we will be waiting for him to get on with us. In the meantime, we will definitely talk a little bit about what you can expect recently from Jamie Kennedy. Now, I'm sure that plenty of you guys remember the cult classic film Scream. And what's kind of fantastic about the horror genre right now is that a lot is resurfacing, such as, Halloween 2018, and we will be getting, I think, the sequel, I forget if it's this year or next year, but Halloween Kills, but they will be coming out with a new Scream 5, so hopefully we'll get to speak with Jamie about that, but Jamie actually has a new stand-up special called Stoopid Smart with 2 O's, which just premiered on Tubi. And if you don't know about Tubi, it is actually a fantastic streaming service. It's completely free and has a very large library. So there's really no need for you to not have Tubi, simply because it won't hurt your credit card in any way. But if you don't want to sign up for Tubi, Jamie Kennedy's special will actually also be on other streaming platforms in June, which is about a few days away. So you don't have very long to wait. But that is the really cool thing about streaming services now. We don't need to necessarily go to any sort of place to see stand-up. It can come all to us. So definitely make sure that you guys check out his stand-up, Stoopid Smart, on Tubi. I checked it out. It's very funny, and I think that a little bit of humor is exactly what we need right now, considering things are, not so great. Not for nothing, though, many states are reopening, which is really fun. Who knows when we'll be able to go back to the theaters or anything like that, but certainly I do hope we get to experience films the way they were meant to be experienced, and that is in the movie theaters. But, of course, our health and safety comes first. But I am very excited to speak with Jamie. Hopefully he'll come on very soon. But, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Scream is something that I think a lot of us our age grew up on. The horror comedy genre, I want to say, probably started with Scream. Scream was very much a commentary within a commentary, so I am very excited about that. We should be getting him on right now. Jamie, are you with us?
Yeah, how are you?
Good. How are you? This is Tia from Geek Vibes Nation. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on our show and speak with me.
Well, thank you for having me. I so appreciate it.
Absolutely. I first want to say congratulations on your stand-up, Stoopid Smart, which just premiered on Tubi. I checked it out. Very funny. How has the reception been for your stand-up special?
Honestly, it's been really good. Like, I've been doing a ton of press, like almost as much as I do for like a show or a movie. And I didn't expect all the press, and if actually people have been reviewing it, and the reviews have been like, pretty good. It's like hard sometimes, the reviews can be tough, but people were like complimentary, and so much is going on between this and my birthday and the special. So and the COVID, there's so much happening at once, but it's been very positive. So I'm very thankful.
Yes, and happy belated birthday. The special actually dropped on your actual birthday, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we figured we'd tie it all in, you know what I mean? Half a century, new special.
I have to imagine, as you know, you said there's so much going on right now, that you filmed this special before all of pretty much everything got shut down.
Yeah, I filmed it right at the end of 2018, and we were, editing it for a little while, and then we were trying to get the right distributor, and then we were going to just self-distribute it, and then basically Tubi is a newer streaming service, but we knew about them, and they have my old specials, and they have a lot of my movies. And they were like, yo, what do you got? Something original. And then we did. And they were like, this is a perfect thing. And then the lockdown is terrible, but the one thing it is good for is content. Like, so many people have been hitting me up about so many different things because people are literally watching everything that's ever been filmed. You know what I mean? It's like nuts.
Yeah, I certainly have been burning through a lot of things that I had wanted to watch before the shutdown happened. So I certainly understand we need new and original content and certainly things to laugh at in this time. How has, and first of all, I was kind of singing Tubi's praises before you came on. I actually love that service. It's free and has a huge library. But how have you been doing personally with the shutdown?
I've been, honestly, I'll tell you, I was very paranoid for the first 3 weeks. There was just a lot of because I'm healthy, but I had some heart issues in my past, so I was like, am I susceptible? And I've never been one to trip out on the news or whatever. It's that's over there, and I've been around most of the world, so I've seen a lot of things. So I'm like, okay, I can navigate. But it's this was something that was unknown, and so I don't know. I was watching a ton of news, and I was a ton of Reddit. I was going down, conspiracy holes and also mainstream media holes, and then and then LA started getting nice, and then I just hearing about the sun. So once the sun started coming out about 6 weeks ago, I just started absorbing the sun. Then I did my first thing for TV, NBC. We did a thing for Feeding America, and then I did another thing, and then I started doing Zooms and started getting into a regular workout. And now I'm been pretty productive, I'm getting all my ducks in a row, my finances, my content, my my server. So I'm using this time to be very productive. Yeah,
which I feel it's the perfect time to do that. I live in New York, and it's starting to get nicer here, and I feel that a lot of people are starting to go outside, even though there's still a shutdown. But that's another story for another day. But with your stand-up, Stoopid Smart, you really touch upon a lot of things. You touch upon a lot of topics, kind of some that may be a little raunchy, a little taboo. How has it been for a comedian? Because we've heard a lot of comedians and people who are in comedy, such as say Todd Phillips, comment how difficult it is to do comedy right now. I mean, how did that feel doing that stand-up kind of in this post-Me Too era that we're in?
Well, I call it the great wokeness of 2017. Late 2017, a lot of stuff started happening, and there should be a disclaimer that anything that happened before 2017, it was considered a joke. I mean, not anything, but you know what I mean. Things started being taken very literally. So, look, comedy's never been hotter, in my opinion. It's never been more needed in a lot of ways. And as much as people are mad at jokes and things you shouldn't joke about. There's also a ton of people that love it and need it and want to absorb it. So it's very polarizing at the moment. But listen, the club I did was awesome. It's called the Rec Room, and it was intimate, and like, you know, a lot of specials are big, and this was more like, hey, Jamie's getting back into the lab again, and so I was more like a smaller one, you know, like when Dave Chappelle did the Bird Revelations, that was in the belly room, and it was more intimate, and so that's what I wanted to do. I mean, I did it in Huntington Beach, you know, I don't know if you've ever been there, but they don't get offended in anything, you know what I mean? And so I knew it was going to be fun there. But look, people are always going to be mad at jokes. The new thing though is what people are talking about is that you can't really. What's weird is you do jokes in a comedy club and people really get mad, and that's like where you're supposed to do jokes. Like if I was in Trader Joe's and I started saying something to you in line and you got mad, you have every right to be because it's Trader Joe's. It's not a club. But in a comedy club, you're supposed to be able to do that. You know, it's like going to Italy and getting mad that olive oil's in every dish. I mean, that's what Italy is.
Yeah, exactly. To me, I feel like if I were a comedian, it would be a little difficult to kind of read the room. Granted, as you were saying, your special, it seemed very intimate. It seems like you were getting a lot of great reaction from the audience, which I've heard from comedians that, you know, it's very difficult if your audience isn't reacting correctly. That could really sway the night and how everything goes. I mean, do you agree with that? Does that, like, the audience, how they react, does that fuel you as you're doing your stand-up?
Oh, 100%. Like, you know, you gotta play to. You want to, I mean, that's why you do it. We don't want to go up there and stink. We don't want to go up there and not connect with people. You want to connect with people. You have these thoughts, you have these ideas, and you want to be able to, like, get the reaction that you are feeling in yourself. And so that's why I love that room, because it was created by a comedian, and it's a totally funky little room. It's really artist-friendly, and people go there knowing they're going to let loose. He, as much as I may be known, and he may bring other known comics. If you look at their roster, they bring all types of comics, all types of humor, and it's a place where you can be creative, and so it's good. And yeah, I mean, if there have been times where you do something and you're not connecting, it doesn't feel good. And then you try to, like, you know, talk to the audience and why it's not working. But that's why I try to play all different rooms. I mean, you know, you got to try it. You can't just play mainstream rooms. Like when I go to New York, I'll try to play a little alternative rooms just to see how out of touch I am, or where maybe I'm closer in touch with certain things. You know, you can't appeal to everybody, but you got to get the vibes of who's doing what, so you can try to, you know, adjust.
Right, exactly. And I have to ask, where did the name of this stand-up Stoopid Smart come from? It's very playful, you know.
Well, thank you, because it's kind of like was my first one, and then we had a bunch of other names, and then it was like we were gonna go with something else, and then I was just like, we have to go back to the original, because there was some deeper stuff in there, and then I did 92 minutes, but we can only keep 60. And so I was like, this is the title. So it's like, you know, people know me as B-Rad, you know, and so it's like four things. It's like, so it's like a hip-hop thing of like, yo, man, he's stupid, you know, like, and like, it used to be like I did just joke about how a lot of black guys, when they recognized me, they'd always compliment me by calling me stupid. They'd be like, yo, man, you stupid, man, you dumb, like, but it was like a compliment, you know. So I thought it's a hip hop thing, like, yo, that's stupid, it's so good. And then, like, also people think my persona is like a little goofy, so that is that. And then, you know, towards the second half of the special, I go into deeper topics that maybe you don't think that Jamie Kennedy would talk about, and so it gets a little smarter, and then it might be smart, so it's so smart it's stupid. It's like 5 minutes.
I love it.
Thank you.
I have to admit that you actually are the first comedian that I've had the pleasure of interviewing, and to me, like, it's always interesting because I always wonder when a comedian puts together a show, how, first of all, how long did it take you to come up with these jokes? I mean, I have to feel that being on stage for as long as you are and having to memorize all of these jokes, I mean, that has to have taken a long time, unless, you know, in reality it's like, you know, within 10 minutes you did it.
No, it's definitely not 10 minutes. Some of them I had for about 6 years, and then other ones are, you know, less than, you know, a year. So it's just a mix, you know, and it's like I probably could have put the special out a little earlier, but I just didn't really have the, you know, the distribution, and it was like everybody was doing Netflix or bust, and then, you know, I wasn't getting the love from them, so I was like, well, what am I going to do? I'm like, I'm still going to do it, so I just got to figure out where to put it out, you know. And so, I mean, look, you could probably do a special every 2 years and be pretty tight with it. I think that some of these jokes are 4 years old, some of them are 2 years old, some of them are a year old, so it just depends. But usually you go up, you have an idea, and you just spitball it. I'll have my friend in the back. I'll tape it. He'll gather it all up. I'll start going, this works, this works, this works. I'll shape it. He'll help me shape it. And that's how it kind of happens. But, I mean, you can really do it diligently if you work on it every night, quicker than most. But you have to, like, test it out. You have to test it in 5 places to see if it will work across the board, you know?
Right. And are you currently working on any new material?
That's a good question. So, like, people have been asking me about comedy in this, and I just, before I did your show, I did TMZ. So, see, it's TMZ and then Geek Nation. See, we're right in the same thing, or Geek Vibes. And they were asking me about comedy in the time of COVID, and I'm like, I haven't really been thinking about it because, like, I'm thinking more about, like, shopping and sanitizing and, you know what I mean, like, survival. But now I'm starting to think of it. So I do have another, like, 35 or 40 minutes of stuff that I've had, but I'm wondering how it's going to fare because I feel like, I don't know, the consciousness has shifted after this. There's so much turmoil in the world. Like, how can I, like, be funny but, like, be, like, you know, informative as well? You know what I mean? Like, to just do, like, pure escapism comedy might not work. So I don't know. I might have to write more and adjust because I feel like we're going to be in a different time after all this. So I do, but I think I need to write more, basically, I'm saying.
Yeah, and I completely understand that the difficulty right now kind of trying to come up and be sensitive, profound, but also funny. It is kind of hilarious. Last night we were talking about how Michael Bay is developing a COVID-19 pandemic movie and is planning on filming in a few weeks. So I guess, you know, you're taking an even more, like, I would feel like sensitive approach than that, because when I heard that, I was like, that's a little much.
No, Michael Bay is the only place I heard was filming was Australia. My nephew's down there, and he says he has seen a crew. And that was like a week ago. I heard Michael Bay is starting in like 2 weeks. I heard it's a COVID movie filming in COVID. And I heard it's going to be in L.A. Of course, he's Michael Bay, so he's top of the game, so he'll have all the guidelines. And there's a 30-page outline, which I saw, which is basically every group goes in and does their thing. Camera department, sound department, makeup department, and they all are huddled together. Now, some people are talking about quarantining. I don't know how they're doing it, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty. That's pretty. He's getting in the middle. He's getting in the thick of it. You know what I mean? So I don't think I'm ready to go on set yet. But hey, man, everybody's got their own timeline.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was something that was interesting to me. But speaking about upcoming movies and projects, I have to, of course, ask you about Scream, because I feel like Scream has had such a, first of all, impact on movies, how horror movies were. I think that not only did Scream have such a cultural impact, but then had all these other movies like a Scary Movie and everything. It really just kind of set the pace for so much moving forward. And I'm sure you get this question a lot, but I mean, how has that kind of felt for you, being involved in a film franchise that is still talked about to this day, and in fact will be getting another film sometime in the near future?
So Tia, how old are you?
I'm actually 30.
So you're young. I mean, so Scream came out when you were like 8. So it's probably your Halloween. Halloween came out when I was about 8 or 9, and that just affected me so much. I don't think I saw it then. I think I saw it a little later. But, you know, to me, like, if I watch Halloween now, it holds up like it's 1979. Like, I'm still, like, there with my sister, grabbing her arm. It's still as scary as ever. And I think that Scream, I go to these conventions, I talk to people like you, I just think it's getting even more popular. Like, it's crazy. It totally holds up. It totally reinvigorated the genre, and then it made a new level to the genre because it was self-referential and also meta. You know what I mean? It really was the first meta, in the sense that I am named Jamie, and I was saying, look behind you, and I'm looking at Jamie Lee Curtis, and my name was Jamie. There's just a lot going on. And I think it's jumped out of the genre of horror. I think it's just a great movie, and in general, and it shouldn't just be categorized as horror. So, and Scream 5 is compelling to tell you why that it's happening, is because people know there's an appetite for it. And people ask me about my character. He's dead. As much as I know, he's dead. You know, I don't think he can come back. And that's why Scream is so good, because they kill characters that you care about. So it'll be interesting to see in the next one if everybody is safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you said, it kind of transcends the genre of horror. I just think it's one of those things where we've had so many years of, say, like the Paranormal Activity movies, and I think that people are trying to get back to movies that had more of these, like, figures, as you said, Halloween with Michael Myers. There's even talk of people wanting a new Nightmare on Elm Street. But with Scream, it's like, first of all, that mask is so iconic, and the rules of scary movies, I mean, that's something that it's like you couldn't have been more on the nose, and I feel like even to this day it holds up, the rules. So I just think that that's really cool that you know, were involved in such a, like, genre-defying film franchise. And I was going to ask if there was any you know, if you were going to come back for Scream 5, even though your character is in fact deceased, if there was any talks of a cameo or anything like that.
Well, I mean, like, so far I can tell you no, but I could be lying to you. But you never know. But I feel like, look, I feel like the people want it. It's people like you, and have always come up to me. I think the filmmakers, I don't think they really realize the character's impact sometimes. It's the people, because the people love it. But I heard Hayden Panettiere might be coming back, and I thought she was killed, but maybe she wasn't. But, I mean, look, I'm always open to it, but it would have to be, you know, within the rules of what Randy would believe, and because Randy really is the hardcore horror cinephile. So it would have to satisfy cinephiles' thirst and belief systems. If it didn't, you know.
Right. And I do just have kind of one last question. You know, the big secret kind of in Scream were who the real killers were. I mean, was that something that everyone kind of knew all along while filming Scream, or was that kind of shrouded in secrecy during much of the filming process?
No, the first Scream we all had the script, so we knew it was Stu and Billy.
Right.
But the second one, this was the internet. This was 97, and so that was the first time I ever got a script with a line and a watermark in it. There was 2 scripts I got that year that had that. That was that one, and the second one was Titanic, and I had to read because I was reading for them, and it was like, whoa, like, what's a watermark? And they're like, you don't want to leak on the internet. Oh, no, and I think one more was Boogie Nights. What a year for movies, right? And and I was like, this is so bizarre because we don't have the end of the second act and the third act. And I'm like talking to Sarah Michelle Gellar. I'm like, well, who's the killer? And she's like, I don't know. It might be me. And then she was like reading, and then she's like, oh shit, I'm dead in page like 30. You know, so it's like I didn't know I was gonna die, and then I found that I was gonna die, and I was like, oh shit. You know, so yeah, that one we didn't know until weeks into the filming. Like maybe some people did, but I didn't. I mean, I'm sure Nev knew she wasn't going to be the killer, but I don't know. I'm sure Courtney knew too, but I don't know. Like a lot of us were in the dark.
Right. And that is such a thing now that you hear actors who are getting only, say, their portions of scripts, and they don't really even know, say, what a movie that they're filming is about because they're not even given the whole script. They're just really given their lines. So the act of filmmaking seems like it has differed so much in the past few decades.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You know what I mean? They don't want to let the cat out of the bag. Social media will just. When we were doing Scream, it was us. We had a script, and no one knew about us or cared. You know, you can't do that today. I mean, someone tweets about it, boom.
Yeah, exactly. It would just explode all over. But Jamie, you know, before I let you go, and again, it has been so wonderful being able to speak with you. I know that things are so locked down right now, but is there anything that you have in the works, anything that you'd like to promote so that listeners certainly know what is next for you?
Well, right now, like I have a lot of stuff on Tubi, and the main thing is Stoopid Smart, my special, so you can watch it for free on Tubi. And then also next week I have another show that I'm hosting called Coming to the Stage, and that's going to be on Pluto, another very cool streaming service. It's also free. And I did a movie with Bruce Dern and Kathy Moriarty and Taryn Manning called Crabs in a Bucket. And that is, I don't know, it was actually supposed to go to Tribeca, but you know where that's at right now. So look for that. And I got 2 more projects I was going to do, 2 more films. I don't know when they're going to start now. So all I can say is look for me on your local Amazon Prime, your Tubis, your Vudos, and enjoy my reruns.
Absolutely, yes. Please make sure that you check out Stoopid Smart and everything else that is in Jamie's resume. And certainly whenever everything starts picking back up, I hope that will be sometime in the near future. But I hopefully you think of us when you are looking to promote your next project. But thank you again, Jamie, for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much, T. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jamie. All right, everyone. That was really cool to speak with someone who has been such a part of our culture and our movies. So that was just so cool. So everyone, please make sure that you check out Stoopid Smart on Tubi. As I mentioned at the beginning of this show, that it is totally free, so there's no reason for you not to sign up with Tubi. And, of course, make sure you check us out, geekvibesnation.com. We have plenty of interviews and articles and reviews and all that for you to enjoy, and I just really look forward to it. So thank you, everyone. This is Tia, and this is Geek Vibes Nation interviewing Jamie Kennedy. All right.